Hey guys, it's Brian. Welcome to Financial Fitness. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. In this video, I'm going to talk about the steps you can take to set and achieve your financial goals. Let's get right into it. Having goals can influence the actions you take today and help shape your future. By identifying goals and creating a realistic plan for them, it allows you to track progress and motivates you to keep going. Even if you don't meet your goal and fall short, you might develop some healthy money habits along the way. Start by making these goals reasonable, and as you achieve more of them, begin to make them harder to reach to motivate yourself to reach even higher. If your goals are too easy to obtain, then they aren't really goals. In my opinion, the most important part of creating a goal is to put a timeline on it. This might not sound that important, but it's not truly a goal without a timeline. It becomes more and more of a dream over time because there is no pressure or accountability to make any steps or progress towards achieving the goal. Don't let life get in the way of reaching your goals. Make sure you dedicate time and effort to take the necessary steps towards living your dream. Goal setting also helps you not lose sight of why you're saving and tracking your expenses with a budget. Don't forget to always include investing as part of achieving your financial goals as well, because that will only accelerate how fast you reach them. Keep these 3 steps in mind when setting any goals. Set goals that are a reach, but still somewhat attainable. Set a time frame for each goal to hold yourself accountable. Create urgency and to stay motivated. Create some steps for yourself in order to make progress towards achieving each goal. So let's get right to it and show you some examples of the most common financial goals and work through the math too. You'll be able to modify the math for each goal to be specific to your current situation. And if your goal isn't one of the following 6, then it is likely a variation of one of them. The 6 main financial goals are retire at age 65, or financial independence and retire early, which is retiring earlier than age 65, buy a home, create an emergency fund, pay off debt, save for a vacation, and start a business. These goals all follow the same 3 steps I just mentioned, which are figure out the dollar value of the goal, set a time frame and starting point for the goal, create steps that you need to achieve towards reaching your goal. If you are saving up to buy a house, for example, we can say the value of the home or apartment is $500,000 in this example. You'd like to be able to buy in 8 years or so, so you need to figure out what to either save up, which is either $500,000 to buy in cash, or save up $100,000 for a 20% down payment towards obtaining a mortgage, which is the more conventional approach. If I go to the investment calculator on calculator.net and input these numbers with $0 to start the goal, an 8-year time frame, and saving $800 per month at 7% rate of return, I would have slightly over the goal of $100,000 for the down payment at $101,000. Keep in mind that the monthly payments from the $400,000 mortgage have to be affordable for you. So when trying to figure out how much house or mortgage you can afford, you have to think about how to both save up for the down payment as well as whether the monthly mortgage payments are sustainable and achievable. If the monthly payments aren't affordable in this example, it's possible that you may need to save up for a bigger down payment than 20% to bring the mortgage payments lower. Increasing the down payment by about 5 or 10% to 25 or 30%, making the down payment $125,000 or $150,000 instead, will help even if that means saving up for a longer period. Assuming a 4% interest rate on a 30-year mortgage for $400,000, that should make the payments be around $1,900 per month. If you end up putting 30% down instead of 20, the mortgage would only be for $350,000. And assuming the same 4% interest rate and 30-year mortgage, the monthly payment should drop to around $1,600 to $1,700 per month. Any of the other goals I mentioned can just follow the same steps and principles. Find out the starting points and the end goal. Then find out how much you need to save in order to get to your end goal. Use trial and error with an investment calculator to figure out the appropriate time frame and how much you can reasonably afford to save per month and year. This goes with anything from buying a home to retiring by a certain age, creating an emergency fund, paying off debt, and even starting a business. In the example of buying a home, your starting point would be what the total value of the home would be, and from there, the size of a down payment you are aiming for to put towards a mortgage. If you're talking about planning your retirement, your endpoint would be the total value of how much money you want to retire and live off of, and your starting point would be where you are currently, with your time frame being how many years you have until the age you want to retire. Here's an example for retirement. Assuming you have 35 years until you retire and are looking to have around $1.5 million or more save for retirement. You would need to save $1,000 per month for 35 years with a 7% rate of return to reach this goal. If you achieve an even higher rate of return or save more each month, retirement could be even sooner than 35 years, like in this example, reaching the $1.5 million in 34 years. The starting point for paying off debt is a total of all short-term debt, like credit card debt, personal loans, and student loan debt. You can also include longer-term debt, such as mortgages, if you want to be completely debt-free. That's not too different from how to determine how long it will take to save up towards creating an emergency fund or saving for a vacation. You have to determine how many months of expenses your emergency fund should cover for you to feel comfortable, or what it should cover, and that would be your starting point. For a vacation, you would have to figure out how much your vacation would cost and determine how much to save each month to work towards it, and how quickly you want to get there. If you plan on starting a business, you have to estimate what all the upfront costs are as your endpoint and the steps to get there from your starting point to help you determine how long it will take to save and invest your way to your total estimated startup costs. For all of these financial goals I just mentioned, set an appropriate time frame to achieve them, or figure out what the endpoint is. There usually is one variable that is missing when setting financial goals, which you can use the investment calculator on calculator.net towards helping you plan out every financial goal you have to see how they might work for you. There are different tabs at the top that change what the calculator will help you solve for. I'd recommend setting the rate of return to somewhere between 6 to 7% on the conservative side. Any higher than 7% might be a bit ambitious depending on how you're investing. If you're able to achieve an average rate of return that is higher than 7%, then you'll just reach your goal that much faster. Be disciplined with how much you can save each month and year to stay on track towards achieving your financial goals. If I think broadly, one financial goal everyone should have is to save up at least $100,000 in some capacity by the age of 30 to 35. If it's even earlier than that, awesome, but it's critical to start accumulating wealth by or before that time frame, because life events start to happen if they haven't already. Even if retirement isn't one of those things just yet, saving at least $100,000 gives you more flexibility to potentially buy a home, get a head start on your retirement, have a small emergency fund, or any number of other financial possibilities. The $100,000 does not have to be in one place. It could be spread out over multiple accounts, savings or checking accounts, investment accounts, or retirement accounts. Another goal would be to create an emergency fund by age 30. Emergency funds vary based on how long you want it to cover your living expenses, along with any other sudden expenses that might come up. In my opinion, a minimum amount to have in an emergency fund should be at least $1,000 to $3,000, and my reasoning is that it should be able to cover minor vehicle repairs, small home maintenance repairs, and maybe an urgent care visit. $1,000 to $3,000 should be used as a minimum starting point. This amount would not cover normal daily living expenses for any significant period of time. A more substantial emergency fund would be needed if that were the case, and I'd recommend being able to cover 4 to 6 months worth of living expenses. Check out my video on emergency funds if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked this video and found it insightful. Click the like button if you did, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so you can see when I post videos next. Feel free to leave comments, questions, and any topics you might want to hear about in future videos to get on track to being financially fit. See you in the next video.